but you could learn from me. We go another round before we fall asleep. You put me on a cloud now, baby. Feels almost like a dream. Something about your body. Hey, Karen. Hey, Sam. I have a new little work area here set up in my house. I peeled up the call, and it came through. I was like, I need a table for my meditation room, my Reiki room, so that I could have a nice little in-house studio with all my equipment. Oh, let me turn this down. It's a little loud. That's better. Oh, that's so much better. Oh, yeah, that's so much better. Hey, Jen. It has been, oh, let me turn the gain down a little bit. The gain is also a little there. That's better. All right, folks. Internet. Let's see. All right. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter reading tonight because we have so much happening in the sky, in the world, right? We have full moon in Leo coming up. Okay. That full moon is, oh, shoot. So I'm early for the reading, but that's because I'm going to be traveling. So the full moon isn't until Thursday, and that's when we go into Aries season. So this is going to be, hey, Trish. So this is going to be a shorter reading because I will come back on Thursday and do the full moon. The Aries, the reading for Aries, since we're not in Aries season yet. So I'll come back on Thursday and do that Aries reading. But for tonight, we're doing a little preemptive Ostara reading. Ostara, aka spring. Okay. So, possible rituals that you all can get into for Ostara, doing some circle work with friends. Coming to the end of the first quarter of the year, might want to do some early reflection. Some of us feel that this really is the start of the new year, this March, April transition. For some of us, this is really the start of the new year. We have our Palo Santo, but we also have our sage. And now that I have my cute little workstation, I don't have to be on the couch anymore in my living room, even though it was fun while it lasted, but it's much better to be able to just be stable. Most enlightened, most agreeable ancestors to the reading. Help me to be a clear conduit. Help me to be an open door. And bring forth the messages that people need to actually hear. So right off the bat, one of the first things that I'm hearing is about consistency. So many of you, us, are still struggling with consistency. And so one of the things that we want to do is we want to use this full moon energy to propel us forward, not just to the new moon, but to the end of the year. So, okay, so maybe this is why we came on early. Okay, so since we are a few days early for the full moon, the first suggestion out the gate, we haven't even started the actual read yet, but the first instruction out the gate is to look at where you are this third quarter, taking a good, honest, soul-searching look while we still have the benefit of having this Pisces energy, and really look at the areas where you need to shift and change and make moves. And then you just want to write that down on a piece of paper. The things that are still lingering for you, we're going to do something a little different. We're actually going to write those things down. And if you can use an olive oil, you can use a grapeseed oil. It would be nice if you used like your favorite scented oil, lemongrass, peppermint, lavender. These are all good things. Ylang ylang. Writing out a list of the things that are keeping you stuck, writing that list out, anointing that piece of paper with that essential oil, getting a piece of plastic, filling it with water, immersing your list in that water, and then putting that list in the freezer to freeze those energies. And we want to keep those energies frozen for the next 2 months or so. And at the end of that 2 months, you want to take that list out of the freezer and you want to bury it. You want to find a place to bury it. You don't want to bury the plastic, but you do want to bury the list. Okay? We want to freeze that energy. Tonight we're doing something a little different. Tonight we're actually starting with the African deck. We usually start with the Rider-Waite deck, but tonight we're doing something different for the solstice. For the equinox. What is the energy for this equinox? What is the guidance? This particular card that comes out of the deck, this is going to serve as the theme for the period of the full moon. The card that fell out of the deck, change your attitude. Well, that's clear. Signifying personal reflection and transformation, it is a composition of two Andinkra symbols, the inner star, which represents a new day, and the outer wheel, which implies moving forward. So again, changing our attitude, changing the way we look at things, changing the stories that we've been telling ourselves about the things that have happened to us. We definitely have universal support to make these changes now. More and more guides are also popping up. So there's also a need to change your attitude, not just about your family, not just about the things that happen to you, not just about the trauma that you're carrying, but also changing your attitude about your spirituality, your spiritual practices. Perhaps you've still been putting your spirituality on the back burner. You still haven't taken it seriously yet. But the fact of the matter is, until those ancestors are talked to or conversed with, until that change, until that consistency comes, there's still going to be a block and a barrier. And so this is an internal and an external attitudinal change that is going to be required, and you will be supported in this time period. So let me read what the book says about this particular card, this particular Andinka symbol. This Andinka symbol is called Sesa Wo Suban. Sesa Wo Suban, Sesa Wo Suban, Sesa Wo Suban, Sesa Wo Suban. Transformation. Well, look at that. Isn't that a beautiful way to start off the equinox? Transformación. It is a new day. Es un nueva día. Time for you to make changes. You are too stuck in your routine and thought processes. Absolutely. So I'm definitely hearing too much in the head, not enough in the heart. Too much in the head, not enough in the heart. And so this happens, right, when people have a little bit of intelligence, they have a little bit of smartness to them. Sometimes those are the most rebellious people. I'm speaking for myself as well. And our thoughts can really get us into a pickle, right? Because we get so stuck in our ways. And again, so we have to change that attitude about the things that happen to us. They are keeping what's for you from you. What did we just say? Additional meanings for this card: flexibility, open up, new start. This is why we started with this first, because this is the equinox. We're going into spring. We are in this, this what the pagans call Ostara period. And so how could we get anything else but transformation? Okay, so we already know, we didn't already set the tone. We already know what kind of reading it's going to be. We already know. We already know. Transformation, transformation, transformation. Next card we are going to do is look at that. We're using the Goddess deck, but I want to pull one more card. First card that fell out of the Goddess Oracle deck is Shakti. Shakti, 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 Shakti. And in this particular deck, Shakti is all about energy. All about energy. What is the quality of the energy that you are putting out in the world? Second card, growth. I am being guided to do another one, love, and just one more. So the goddesses are all here. The goddesses are all here. Of course the goddesses are here. It's about to be spring. And full moon's coming. What is the last card for the season? Where is the last card for the season? Last card for the season. Last card that fell out is beliefs. First card that fell out of the, hold on, let me turn it this way so there's not as much of a glare on the cards. Okay, let's see. Do it like so. First card that fell out of the deck is Shakti. Shakti has the lotus on the top of her head. Hey, Jeremy. Shakti has the lotus flower on top of her crown chakra. One of the things we know about the lotus flower is that it grows out of the mud. It grows in the mud. This is going to be a super interesting story that gets told through these cards tonight. So we know that Shakti, that lotus flower grows out of the mud. The next card out of the deck is Esther. This is where, so Esther, so this is actually the goddess, the pagan goddess that's associated with Easter for all you folks that think Easter is about something else. It's not, it's a pagan ritual that has led over into today, just like Christmas and so many other holidays that people celebrate. So we have the rabbit here because, as we know, Easter was a fertility ritual. It's about fertility, right? So we have the rabbit that is a symbol of fertility. We also have the unicorn, which is a mystical being. So we have the magic, and oh my God, this is just so amazing. I cannot believe, I mean, I can believe it, but my goodness. Oh, that's so, so cool. So going back to sort of this, I really want to delve into this Shakti card because there's so much going on here, and this could not be more perfect for full moon in Libra going into the spring equinox. So we're going to actually take this from the top down. Look at the top of this card. I don't know if you can see it, but it is actually the head of a cobra. So right off the bat, again, this whole reading is going to be talking about transformation, which is just absolutely perfect with the season of spring, of growth, of Easter, rebirth, fertility, all of those good things. So the first thing that we need to be doing is we need to be harnessing this energy. So we have this cobra up here. So of course, when I think of the snake, I think of rebirth. I think of shedding the skin. I think of, again, transformation, changing your attitude, right? Again, going back to that lotus that grows out of the mud. So I'm hopping to the last card that fell out of the goddess deck, which was growth. Which is beliefs. And so when I think about this lotus card that's sitting on top of the head, and I'm thinking about sort of the mud that we carry in our brains, the mud that our beliefs are mired in, our beliefs that so often your beliefs are derived from who other people told you that you were. They weren't even beliefs that you came up with yourself. In so many ways, the beliefs are just a complete reflection of everything that people said we were, or they are a reaction to who or what people said we were. And so sometimes, again, we have these hard-headed beliefs that are stuck in the mire of our own brains. We can't get out of our own head. Our lotus is never allowed to blossom because it stays stuck in the mud of our beliefs, right? And then, of course, we have the chakra energy. So this card also is about aligning your chakra energy. So along with the sort of mundane, I gave you a very easy, very mundane ritual to do at the top of this conversation. And so now we're talking about going into chakra work and doing some chakra work, because one of the things about chakras is that we actually experience our interaction with the world through our chakras. So we actually feel and sense these things first because everything is funneled through these chakras or these vortexes or these energy centers in the body. And so one of the things I talk about a lot with the chakras is the rights. Each chakra has a right that it carries. So this first chakra here, right, our root chakra, this has to do with our right, feeling like we have a right to even be here. So many of us need to change our attitude around having the right to even be on the planet. So many of us develop the belief that we don't have a right to be here again because of what other people told us, because of who other people told us we were. And so we don't even feel like we have a right to be on the planet. It could also be because of things that were happening between our parents while we were in utero. Okay, so many of our beliefs were actually formed before we even got on the planet because we ingested all of our parents, not only just our parents' hopes, not only our parents' dreams, but also our parents' trauma and our parents' fear and our parents' parents' fear and our parents' 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 fear, right? So many of us come plopping into this world, this innocent child. right? This innocent baby, but we are mired down with all these beliefs and all of these allergies and all of these traumas, and we don't even understand how we got here. And so much of it has to do with the fact that we came to the planet with it. And so we have to change our attitude also about carrying trauma around with us. Okay, I say this so many times, but there are so many people that need to be just gently extricated from our lives. So many of us keep ourselves stuck because we will not change our attitude about the people that we spend our time with. Okay, sometimes we spend the most time with the people that we should spend the least time with. And what happens is all of their negative comments, all of their critiques, all of their negative energy gets trapped in our chakra systems. Okay, and then we become who they said we were. So then moving up from the root chakra, we have the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is about your right to not only just enjoy pleasure, which just happens to be the other card right here at the bottom of the deck. I didn't pull it, but it's right there upright. Hathor shows up so much. She showed up last month. Here she is again. Okay, so it has to do with your right to sexual pleasure, but the sacral chakra also has to do with your creativity. Obviously, sacral chakra also has to do with reproduction. Folks out here struggling with reproduction issues, folks out here trying to get pregnant, having all of these infertility issues. Okay, you might want to take this time of Esther, this time of growth, this time of sort of new energy, this new energy of spring. It might be time to change doctors, actually. Okay, those of you suffering with fertility issues or reproductive issues, it might be time to not only change doctors, but begin looking for a holistic practitioner that can work alongside your Western doctor. Okay, it's time to do something a little bit different, because one of the things we know is that sacral energy, if that sacral energy is blocked for any reason, then that will impact your reproductive system. That will also impact your creativity. You have all these ideas, you have all these thoughts, you have all these dreams, but why can't I put them out into the world? What is going on? Why is everything I try not working? You might have a block in your sacral chakra. Okay, ways to work with that chakra. Okay, wearing the colors of the chakra could be very beneficial, right? Wearing those colors intentionally. There's also different exercises and things like that that you can do to get your chakras turning in the right direction. Hey, Lori Terranova. Next chakra, as we move up the system, is our solar plexus, okay? Our solar plexus has to do with not just confidence, but it has to do with your right to put your ideas out into the world, okay? This is where a lot of our self-sabotaging behaviors happen, is in our solar plexus, because our stomachs are so knotted up. And so this is where we see issues with constipation, irritable bowel syndromes. And again, for those of you that have been victims or survivors of sexual assault, you know, one of the things that we know is there's a lot of constipation around that area. For those of us that are survivors, there's a lot of issues around that area, a lot of bloating around that area, a lot of constipation around that area, because we're literally holding on to so much energy. Okay, so another block in our solar plexus can, so a lot of those self-doubt, self-sabotaging behaviors, again, can settle into our solar plexus, okay? Next on deck is our heart chakra in green, and I think we talked about the heart chakra last month, because, yeah, we did. On the new moon, we talked about the heart chakra. So the heart chakra has to do with our ability to give and receive love in the world, our right to feel loved, our right to give love. Hey, honey. And our right to receive love, okay? Next up is our throat chakra. Our throat chakra has to do with the right to communicate your ideas out into the world, okay? And then we have our third eye, and we have our crown chakra. So the third eye has to do with being able to put your thoughts, dreams, that magic, being able to put your visions out into the world, being able to see clearly the things that cannot be seen, if that makes sense. Your ability to sense what's going on, your intuition, all of those things come from the from the third eye chakra. Okay, next on deck is where we have the lotus blossom growing out, but that's where typically our crown chakra is. Our crown chakra has to do with the ability, it has to do with our connection to the universal energy, our connection to the God energy, if you will. Your ability to be able to interpret the messages, interpret the dreams that you're having. Okay, so what does a block in the crown chakra look like? A block in the crown chakra looks like doubting your intuition, keeping, again, people around you that you know need to be out, right? Because you're not paying attention, because you would rather have outside validation than to listen to your own intuition. You'd rather be in a crowd of people who don't really care about you than to be able to sit home alone and just meditate and clear your mind and figure out what's really going on in your life, why nothing is really working out for you. Okay, a lot of things aren't working out for people because they're not willing to turn off the TV. They're not willing to get off of their cell phones. They're not willing to stop texting, okay, because they're constantly looking for outside validation, and they get that validation from the relationships they're in. And so even if the relationships are no longer helpful, even though the relationships are actually holding them back, they refuse to change their attitude. Why? Because when they hear messages, they think they're crazy, because you're so out of tune, because you've been so out of tune and you've been lying to yourself for so long that when you hear the truth, you can't even recognize it. Okay, that's what a block in the crown chakra looks like. How do these things work together? Okay, so many of us come into the world with root chakra damage just out the gate. I mean, let's just be honest. A lot of our parents, they was down with a lot of, fuck shit. I mean, that's just what it was. And so a lot of us just came into the world with just a lot of stuff, a lot of trauma, a lot of drama, a lot of ancestral stuff stuck in our DNA, a lot of epigenetic nonsense going on. Okay, especially communities of color. A lot of us came into the planet with a lot of shame and guilt and things like that. Okay, so what does that look like? So you don't feel like you have the right to be here. Okay, so if I don't feel like I have the right to be here, I'm definitely going to be in relationships with people that I know are not good for me. I'm definitely going to put people's needs before mine. I'm definitely going to stay like 5 hours at a job that I don't like because, again, I'm validating myself with my job, right? Because I don't have enough confidence in who I am. Why? Because somebody told me I wasn't shit, or maybe they intimated I wasn't shit, or maybe that was just the vibe in the house I grew up with, okay? And so now I am in the world and I feel like I don't even have a right to be here. So I'm not going to eat right. I'm not going to exercise. I'm not going to pay my bills on time. I'm not going to do any of those things because at the end of the day, I don't feel like I have a right to be here. Okay, so if I don't have a right to feel like I have to be here, how can I engage in pleasure? How can I enjoy pleasure? I cannot, because I don't feel like I have a right to be here. So I don't have a right to be here. So I don't have a right to express pleasure, right? So, okay, I'm going to be in unfulfilling sexual relationships. Like I'm with partners that haven't pleased me in years, but whatever. A piece of man is better than no man. So, hey, we're in this relationship. How does that affect the solar plexus? Okay, so I don't feel like I have a right to be here. So then I'm totally out of touch with my own pleasure. Then how can I possibly be expected to put my thoughts, ideas, and dreams out into the world? I'm not going to, because at the end of the day, I just don't even believe I have a right to be here. Okay, and so now I'm totally out of sync with my self-confidence, and so I'm going to doubt anything that my heart tells me. By matter of fact, I don't even know what makes me happy anymore. By matter of fact, I don't even know who I am anymore, because I'm so out of touch with who I am, who I came here to be, and what my heart's desires are. So I'm just floating through life. Okay, because I don't feel like I have a right to love and to be loved in healthy ways. Okay. And so then here we are, we're moving up to the throat chakra. So if I don't believe I have a right to love and I don't feel like I know how to love, how can I possibly speak my truth? I don't feel like I have a right to speak my truth. Why? Because at the end of the day, I don't even feel like I have a right to be here. Okay, if I don't feel like I have the ability to speak my truth, and so I'm a liar, I lie to everyone, I have no integrity with myself, I don't keep my promises to myself, I don't keep deadlines to myself, okay, I don't speak up for myself, I don't set boundaries. Why? Because I don't feel like I have a right to be here. And then if I'm not communicating effectively because I can't, how am I going to possibly feel like I have a right to put my visions and my dreams, and God forbid, tell anybody what my dreams are? I'm not going to be able to do it. Okay, because I'm just so out of touch. I'm so out of sync. And then here we are in the crown chakra. So again, this goes back to, how do I know when I'm getting that intuition? How can I interpret that? I can't. I think I'm crazy. I think it's woo-woo. I think it's crazy mystical stuff. And guess what? I don't believe in all that stuff because society says all this stuff is crazy, right? So again, I'm just floating from pillar to post, totally disconnected, totally out of sync, not doing anything I'm supposed to do, but yet I want promotion. That's how the chakras work together. That's why we have so many blocks and barriers when we want to change. Here's what gets even deeper. We have chakras in the front and we have chakras in the back. So the chakras in the front have to do with the energy that we put out into the world. And then the chakras in the back are sort of how we experience the things that happen to us. And so there's a matching chakra for each one. So there's a front root chakra and there's a back root chakra. I could get deeper into chakras, but I'm not going to. I've said enough. Okay, so that's what we have on the inside of this egg, right? So what is this saying? This is the second card out of the deck. So this is saying protect your energy too. Change your attitude, shift your energy. How can I shift my energy? By doing some chakra work. Okay, by doing some chakra work, by getting quiet, by meditating. Again, the season right here, we've got the cobra up here. It is a time for shedding skin, okay? And then we have sort of the cosmic egg surrounding all of this, right? And here we are in the middle of the universe, because each one of us is our own universe. This cosmic egg, so we know that there's different cosmologies, different stories of cosmology stories, how we got here, how we're evolving on the planet. We have that sort of as a collective consciousness, but we also have our own personal stories of how we got here. I see this as a protective egg. I see this as a need to protect your energy as we go into this full moon season, protecting your energy, changing your life by changing your attitude, raising your energy, okay? Raising your vibration. Next card out of the deck, again, was the goddess Esther, okay? So now is a time for growth. We are 100% supported. Everything about this says life. There is no death here. There is no death here. The only death that needs to happen at this season is the death in your mind, the death of the old self and the going back into the new self. That is the only death that is present here. Okay. Anything else, anything else that you're harboring in your thoughts, anything that you're worried about, those are illusions that you have been giving your energy to for far too long. Okay. Next card out of the deck, love. Just like last month, the basis of this whole situation is love, love of self, loving yourself so much that you're willing to do the hard work to change your attitude. That's why that change your attitude was the first card out of the deck. Okay, that's what we need to be focusing on. Energy, growth, love. And then this was the last one, beliefs, which I've talked about at length, right? Changing your beliefs about love, changing your beliefs about what's possible for you. So important for you to change your beliefs about what's possible for you. Now we're going to the Rider-Waite. We started off in Africa. We got global with the goddesses. Right. Now we're going over to Europe with our Rider-Waite deck to see what they have to say. What is the energy for the full moon? Whoa, first card out the deck. What is going on? So we're just staying up at night? We're just being plagued at night? We're just letting our worries keep us up at night? So this is what we're spending our time on. It's right here. That's what we're spending our time on. Next card out of the deck, the Justice card reversed. Justice card's another card for Libra, and it is reversed as we go into this full moon in Libra. So we know that Libra has to do with relationships, balance, right? So it makes perfect sense also that we get the Libra card on the equinox, because we know that the equinox stands for equal light and equal day. Okay? Equal time of light and equal time of day. So again, clearly a lot of out of balance energy as we are heading into this full moon. And you know that I like to read the cards the way they're, the way they're directed to. And so here the swords are going right into the justice. So any justice, any smart thinking, I would say, that's not the right word, but any strategic thoughts, all of those things are unclear right now. They're unclear because you're allowing yourself to be in your worries. Okay. The good news is we've already talked about what to do, so I think these two cards out the deck are going to be the last ones. Seven of Wands, so again, more battling, and then Page of Cups, which is a decent card after all of that. So I would say taking a childlike approach to all of this stuff that's happening, okay? Taking time, taking a lighter stance, not falling so much in the depths of your emotions. Coming out of Pisces season, this Pisces season and this Mercury retrograde has been a doozy for many people, right? You may have been feeling more emotional than usual, okay? A lot of that has to do with the collective consciousness, but a lot of it has to also do with the fact that we're in Pisces season and that the appropriate steps were not taken going into Pisces season so that you could be sort of protected and going into the season in a calm way that actually feeds you, okay? Seven of Wands, lots of battles, lots of conflict on the job, lots of conflict with students, lots of conflict in schools, lots of conflict back and forth, particularly with mothers and daughters. And so the best approach is a quiet approach. As I have been saying, really since January, this energy is still very much present because the gossiping is still happening, the fighting is still happening, the critique is still happening, the backbiting, all of those things are still happening. So again, just the best way to do it is just to look ahead, to look at that beautiful fish, keeping the emotions calm, keeping the emotions focused on the good, and again, taking a more lighthearted approach. This could also signal relief coming from a younger person, a person with sort of new ideas, fresh ideas, new emotional exchanges, new ways of being. So this could really be like some of y'all coming in out of this Mercury, well, not coming out because we still got a couple week or so of this Mercury retrograde, but coming out of sort of a dark night of the soul where nothing seems fair, nothing you wanted to happen seems to be happening, things seem to be stacked against you. There is a battle every which way you turn, but we know that the appropriate approach is to take this Page of Cups energy. You don't want to go charging in like a mad person. You want to be dispassionately passionate about your well-being, okay? You want to be dispassionately passionate about your well-being. You don't want to be attached to too much of anything right now, okay? You want to tap into the energy of Libra. We know Libra can be a very aloof energy. It can be a very stoic energy sometimes. And so that is the energy that I would advise you all to take. Again, is to take just a very stoic approach. Libra can also be, you know, we don't always get looked at as a logical sign, but Libra is actually a very logical sign. We are the cardinal sign of the air signs, and so that means we lead you into the air sign element, so to speak. And so we are quite logical, obviously bouncing ideas back and forth until we settle on the right one. Although, as I said here, we got the justice upside down, right? And so our best efforts, all the things that have worked before are no longer working. And we don't quite know how to handle it. But we do know how to handle it, because in the beginning of the reading, we were told to change our attitude. So let's just give an example. So when I pulled this card, what really, really jumped out, it was the first thing I said, was a lot of gossip and a lot of problems on the job and a lot of battles and things like that, all right? So what would it look like if we changed our attitude about that battle that we were in, okay? What would that look like? How would our response be different to what we were seeing? And how might that impact the quote unquote bad actors that are inflicting this gossip, this critique, this heavy critique onto us, right? For the first card out the deck, our African ancestors told us to change our attitude about everything. And this is totally about transformation. So instead of reacting like this, we're reacting like that, right? Instead of focusing on this, we're focusing on the growth. We're focusing on the growth. We're focusing on changing our beliefs. We're focusing on letting love be at the center of everything we do. And we're focused on, most importantly, raising our energy so we can bounce ourselves up out of that situation in the first place. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Feel free to rewind this video if you came on a little late, because I don't feel like there's much more to even say. It was very clear. It was very easy. Oh, we didn't do the I Ching. We didn't do the I Ching. Sorry, I Ching. Okay, so we're going to end off with the I Ching. We know that the I Ching always has the final say. The I Ching has the final say. I Ching, how are we wrapping up this reading? Oh, Dino, you was feeling it? You was feeling it? All right. You know, we like to do a global read over here. We like to, you know, we like to observe our African ancestry, our European ancestry with the Rider-Waite deck, and our Asian ancestry. Zoe, do you upload these videos anywhere else? Yes, they are on my YouTube page. Hold on one second. So all my videos can be found on my channel, which is called The Magic Hours. And I am putting it right here. So what I usually do is I take a little snippet of magic. There it is. Perfect. Oh, when I had hair. So I take a little snippet of this video and I post a little snippet on Instagram, which is I am Zoe Flowers as well. But then the full videos are uploaded to YouTube so that they can be shared. And they're also on my Twitter, which is Divine by Design. So everything is pretty findable. Come on, I Ching, because I only got 2% battery and I do not have my I've got my charger in here. So give me that card. Give me that card. Oh, dope. Pass it on. Pass it on. Please. They're all there, and they can, oh, there we go. They can even go back, obviously, and look and see if stuff resonated from them from before. Okay, so we got number 52. That's our hexagram. So for those of you that have been with me for a while, you know this is still a new deck to me. I'm still learning the I Ching. This is our hexagram, so this is the actual reading right there. Yay! I'm so glad. I'm so glad it was useful. Okay, 52. Keeping still. I'm telling you, the I Ching be coming through. Keeping still, above mountain, below mountain, a mountain range, the quietness of rest. Mountains close together, enhance each other's stillness and stability. They form a sanctuary where the demands of the world can be set aside and all movement ceases. When one enters into such a spirit of stillness, restlessness disappears. The heart is soothed into quietness. The time of keeping still will be followed by the time of movement. But for now, this movement is all there is. So there you go. There you go. Get quiet, work on that energy, and I'll see you on the next new moon. So as always, you can Facebook inbox me if you want a personal reading. All the other readings are on the magic hours, and that's it. I'll see y'all in a couple days with the Aries reading.